We've all seen the picture, the happy couple, the modern home, and the promise of an easier start. We celebrate downsizing as a smart, practical milestone and a step towards a brighter, simpler future.
But what if, for many couples who have spent decades in a family home, it's actually the beginning of a silent fracture? What if behind all the smiles and dreams of a low-maintenance lifestyle, something is quietly breaking?
Moving is consistently ranked as one of life's biggest stresses. The Holmes Rahe stress scale lists change in residence as a significant life event that racks up stress points.
And yet, we often treat downsizing as just a sensible transaction. Why is that? This isn't just a story about new beginnings. This is a look into the unspoken grief, the hidden anxieties, and the quiet ways that leaving a long-held family home can create deep fissures. Because the most dangerous problems aren't the ones we argue about, they're the ones we refuse to even acknowledge.
Let's start with the most obvious pressure point: money. A move is an avalanche of expenses, but when you're on a fixed income, the most damaging ones are the ones you don't see coming. Most couples budget for the agent's fees and the movers, but they get blindsided by the death by 1,000 cuts that comes after.
You've got costs for decluttering and potential storage. There are unexpected repairs needed to get the old house ready for sale, and then set-up fees at the new place. And then there's the cost of updating documents and redirecting mail. Need to pay for services you used to do yourself, like extensive cleaning or gardening? That's another bill. It just keeps adding up, creating this constant low-grade financial hum that can put a retired couple on edge, sparking fears about the future.
But here's the real issue for downsizers: the fear of the unknown. The money from the sale has to last the rest of your life. What if there are hidden body corporate fees? What if the new home needs an unexpected repair? This financial strain isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about the quiet worry that keeps you up at night. It's the unspoken fear of making a mistake, of not having enough right when you're supposed to be feeling secure. This is the first crack in the foundation.
But the financial cost is nothing compared to the emotional one. A house is a structure. A home is where you built a life. And when you move after decades, you sever connections to a place that holds your entire family history. For a couple leaving their long-held home, this can be a deep trauma that we tend to underestimate. This experience is a real psychological response called relocation grief. It's not just about leaving a building, it's leaving the garden you tended for 20 years, the rooms where your children grew up, the neighbourhood where you knew every face.
You're left in a social vacuum, and the loneliness can be absolutely crushing, even when your family is nearby. The familiar support system, the neighbours you could count on, the local shopkeeper who knew your name, is suddenly gone. This loss of history and community puts immense pressure on the couple to be everything to each other in a new way.
Suddenly, you're each other's only link to the past in a new environment. That's a weight no partnership is designed to carry alone. The expectation that you should both be happy and excited creates an environment where negative feelings get buried. You don't want to upset your partner by saying how much you miss the old house. You both put on a brave face. Everyone is performing contentment, while underneath, a current of sadness pulls you apart.
Now, let's talk about the sheer, overwhelming logistics. Managing a downsize is like taking on a second, unpaid, full-time job, especially when you're meant to be enjoying retirement. And it's a job with 1,000 different tasks. You're decluttering a lifetime of possessions, coordinating movers, managing contracts and paperwork, updating legal documents, finding new doctors, and navigating a new community all at once.
It's a relentless checklist that just eats up all of your mental and emotional energy and can be physically exhausting. This burden often shines a spotlight on or creates imbalances in a relationship. More often than not, this logistical and emotional mental load falls disproportionately on one partner. While one person may be focused on the financial transactions, the other is left to manage the chaos of the move. They're the one sorting through old photos, the one deciding which heirlooms to part with, the one trying to find a new local GP. This imbalance can easily turn into resentment and a feeling of being completely taken for granted.
If any of this is sounding familiar, if you've felt this strain yourself while downsizing, share your story in the comments. Just acknowledging this hidden struggle is the first step, and your experience could make someone else feel a lot less alone.
Inside this storm of logistics and emotions, there is often one person carrying a heavier, more invisible burden. It's not the trailing spouse of a career move, but the partner who is less emotionally ready to leave. On the surface, it's a joint decision, made for practical reasons. But underneath that agreement often lies a silent sacrifice.
This person may feel they are giving up the home they truly loved, the place they felt most themselves. They are leaving behind their garden, their workshop, their sense of place and routine. In the new home, their identity can feel erased. They go from being the master of their domain to just another resident in a new, unfamiliar place.
This loss can lead to powerful feelings of grief and resentment that might not show up for months. The partner who was more eager to move might be energised by the new, easier lifestyle and may get impatient with their partner's struggle to adjust. They might not see the sacrifice, only the sadness. This disconnect is where the most dangerous fractures form.
One partner feels their grief is unacknowledged, while the other feels unfairly blamed for a decision that was supposed to be good for them both. The relationship, once a partnership, starts to feel unbalanced.
If a local downsize is a storm, moving into a managed community like an apartment building or retirement village can be a hurricane. All the stresses we've talked about get magnified, and a whole new layer of complexity is thrown in.
Suddenly, you're not just in a new home, but a new system. There are body corporate rules to learn, complex contracts to navigate, and entirely new social structures to figure out. The financial surprises can be even more extreme. You could face unexpected levies or quarterly fees you never saw coming, creating new financial anxieties.
For the couple, this creates an intense us against the world feeling. That can be bonding at first, but it can quickly sour into isolation if the new environment doesn't feel like a good fit. The pressure to make this new lifestyle a success is immense. The dream was to be free and independent, but being subject to a new set of rules and a new community of strangers can feel very confining. Any sign of struggle can feel like a personal failure, silencing the partner who is hurting the most.
Downsizing isn't just a physical act. It's a profound psychological one. It rearranges not just your furniture, but your identity, your history, and your sense of security. The celebratory story we tell about finding freedom and simplicity forces couples into a silent agreement, pretending everything's fine when it's falling apart.
The secret to surviving this move isn't pretending the hard parts don't exist. It's to admit that they do. It's understanding that financial fears will cause tension. It's accepting that you will both grieve your old life, even as you hope for a new one. It's recognising the massive labour involved and consciously moving to face it together.
The fractures don't come from the move itself. They come from the silence that surrounds it. They come from unspoken grief and unvalidated fears. The only way to ensure this new chapter brings you closer is to start talking.
Acknowledge the stress, validate the sadness, and face the chaos together. Because a home isn't a place you move to, it's something you build and rebuild together, no matter where you are.